Hi folks, welcome to your MWIS Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. It's a relatively quiet weather story as we go onwards through this weekend into the start of next week. High pressure that's around at the moment will gradually sink away southwards, just allowing more of a prevailing southwesterly wind to dominate. That's strengthening at times as the week ahead goes on to bring some rain in across Western Mountains, mainly Scotland, elsewhere very small amounts. Temperatures, nothing too special either way really, highest mountains at times close to freezing point. Let's dive in and have a look at the synoptic charts then, and here's Saturday. High pressure centred out to the west of us. We've got what's left of a weak warm front just across central England and Wales, that producing a generally cloudy atmosphere, maybe the thickest of the cloud just thinning and breaking across England and Wales as the day goes on, as that front just slips further away southwards. So some sunshine coming through, just watch for a few stubborn banks of cloud across some of the coastal hills around the Irish Sea. Across Scotland, low cloud focused on western coastal mountains, typically around Mull northwards. Elsewhere, further inland and east, a good chance of cloud breaks towards higher summits and some sunshine coming through. Bit of drizzly dampness just coming onto those northwestern coasts associated with that front that just lies to the northwest. Strongest of any wind towards the far north of Scotland, rather blustery in places, otherwise winds are fairly light. Into Sunday, and high pressure is still nearby, a weak frontal system just toppling around that high, not really a great deal on it, but again some areas of rather stubborn cloud. Now in western Scotland that's likely to be thick enough to produce some drizzly rain, chiefly around the coasts, and that low cloud really just stuck in place across the hills a good part of the day, drifting in on a westerly flow off the Atlantic. Across Wales, some cloud may well be in place across the hills for a time, but tending to lift and break, I would have thought. And for much of northern England, central eastern Scotland, a good chance that many of the hills should clear, some early banks of cloud tending to lift and break. So some sunshine coming through the day on Sunday. Temperatures still just about above freezing point to the very highest tops. Mostly little wind as well, maybe just again the strongest of any breeze toward the northern side of the Highlands. Our area of high pressure is situated toward the south on Monday. Not a great deal going on, but again we have this idea of a southwesterly drift coming in off the mid-Atlantic. So it's an air mass that's got dampness involved with it. It's some tropical maritime origins, so moisture is the order of the day really, rather than rainfall. Some drizzle coming in maybe to some western hills in Scotland. A small chance of just a pop-up shower elsewhere, but typically nothing too substantial. And low cloud focusing itself across many western hills. Now across England and Wales that may well break up quite well, so some sunshine coming through and the cloud base is lifting and breaking. Likewise eastern Scotland, but I think for western Scotland rather stuck with a rather damp day across the hills once again. Not a huge amount changes on the synoptic chart into Tuesday, apart from that an area of low pressure off the Atlantic is just starting to approach us. High pressure lies to the south. Many places still dry. Maybe again just that idea of some stubborn cloud focused around western coastal areas, best of the breaks, and any sunshine further towards the east, and feeling pleasantly warm if some sunshine comes through in those sheltered eastern areas. I think the wind just tending to strengthen though by this stage, and maybe increasingly so as the day goes on, especially across western and northern Scotland. Later on Tuesday, the risk as that low moves in that we might get some upland gales on the very highest tops in northwest Scotland. It's still not a particularly active weather system that comes through as we go into the middle of the week, but still that idea of a southwesterly breeze that may well be more than a breeze across the Highlands. The risk of gale force winds on the highest tops at least part of the day. We'll watch the detail as that develops, of course. And the leftovers of a front trailing its way southwards into the same area of high pressure that's still nearby, but it's the idea of some patchy rain around at least on that front and some low cloud, again focusing across western hills. Behind the front, some chillier air may take temperatures down below freezing point across Scottish mountains, and a few showers coming in from the west coast with a bit of sleet or hail across the hills at times. Cloud bases then highest toward the eastern side of the Highlands again. So southwesterlies dominate through the middle of the week, and as we go later on, I think not a great deal changes. The only real suggestion is just that we really lose the high pressure that will have been around earlier on, and lower pressure off the North Atlantic does just start to exert a bit more influence. So some more active fronts trying to come in from the west and the southwest, So some rain at times for all, and temperatures a little bit up and down on the hills, some freeze and thaw cycles maybe on the highest tops with some snow on the higher mountains occasionally, especially in Scotland where a day or so may go a couple of degrees below freezing across the Munros, some showery conditions, some snow and some hail coming down, even to some lower slopes, at least temporarily. That generally unsettled west by southwesterly flow I suspect takes us through next weekend before some indications try and build pressure again a little bit from the south. Although I suspect as we go into the latter days of March and the start of April, this sort of mixed pattern may well just hang on with some fronts occasionally still passing towards the northern half of Britain. Driest conditions focus the further south you go. We shall see how all that unfolds. Don't forget you can keep up to date with your local forecast for your area every day on our website. Thanks for watching. That's been your Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. Bye for now.